There's always a confusion when it comes to religion, spirituality, what's praying, what's meditating. Do we channel? Do we talk? Do we just set the intentions out there and so forth? But there are definitely ridiculous concepts on spirituality. When it comes to it's a demonic possession, which is obviously incorrect. It's always proposed by extremely religious people, so radicals. And if I ask them what's the origin of, historically, the origin of the word demon, they'll spit out some religious type of bullshit or Google translation, not realizing it's actually a phrase representing a species that physically walked the earth many, many years ago, many moons ago, along with another race named Nagai. When it comes to religions, I see them truly as for what they are. They are a prison system, a set of extremely strict rules, regulations, rituals, created by very wise men long, long time ago, for a reason. And religions definitely are filled with corruption, tyranny and fear and judgment, even hate, sexual abuse, rapes, sexual assaults, even murders, sacrifices, and so forth. And it's all over control and money and power and so forth. And we've even seen religions that are responsible for genocides, including children, including wars. Many wars have started over religions. And many potential loving, incredible, unconditional love type of relationships have been prevented due to two people being from two different religions and the parents would disagree. Religion definitely is a prison system, best way to put it. Prison system, it's exactly what it is, in my very strong and very logical perspective. It's slavery, it's a very well-organized structure of slavery, blindly worshiping some external god, some external deity, group of deities, imaginary people, imaginary prophets. It's definitely like a cheap crack, cheap opium for the masses, for most humans. Religions can never reform mankind because religion is slavery. Slavery still exists absolutely worldwide. It's called religion, yeah. Aside from cataract, it's the second biggest cause of blindness. Religions make me follow rules, make me feel scared. Spirituality allows me to be myself, to utilize visualizations and intentions and energy, move energy, open up vortex points energies, open up third eye flow, open different opportunities for different energies to come in. So this is an advanced school of frequency, vibration, energy, healing, empowerment, enabling, tuning in. So these spiritual practices are critical. Enabling things, the inner knowing, understanding, building intuitive, building this clairvoyance, building telepathy, detoxifying the pineal gland, opening up chakras, integrating soul layers, channeling from the divine, from the spiritual places that Bibles will not tell us about. And when it comes to religion, just like really, there is no such thing as what is a religion. There's no answer. What's a worldwide religion? Just like there's no answer for that, there's also no answer what is God? G-O-D, what is God? Is there a proof of God? G-O-D? Or was there depictions and writings and engravings of gods? So why was the letter S removed? How is it that the God represents some humanoid man in a chair? That's nonsense. I remember in Sunday school, because I was raised Christian, I was raised Orthodox back home, Eastern Europe, we were given these little booklets, these tiny little booklets, and it depicted a God as a man, male, man, white long hair, big beard, goatee, perfectly done perm, sitting on a chair, looking down on earth, judging humans. I was brainwashed. We were all recruited into this Ponzi scheme. Let's look at other people. German sociologist Max Weber. He says religion is a psychological phenomenon. Emil Durkheim says that the religion is a social phenomenon. All right, fair enough. Clifford Geertz says it's a system of symbols. A legendary Jordan Maxwell, God bless his soul, he passed away. He says it's an occult system. Everybody knows who Jordan Maxwell was. Dalai Lama says religion is just kindness. All right, I appreciate that. It's not really the real answer, but okay. And many other authors have depicted really religion as just an occult, just a club, a society, really, with stolen events from the past. And that's really what it is. Stolen events, stolen stories from previous civilizations, from people that existed before. Just names were changed, events were changed, and obviously new art was depicted. I believe that the religion is just a very large brainwashing machine. Religion promotes covert lies, like secret lies, like spy lies. Promotes strictness, but it also promotes punishment, fear-mongering. And these worshippers are taught to judge others. They're urged to judge. judge those that are of the opposite religion. They're not the selected ones. They're not worthy enough. Is this fair? And worshippers are always frightened in a way, always scared, always frightened with their hands praying that some God, some priest, some prophet will judge them if they don't live their life the way the church or whatever institution says so. If you don't come to Mass on Sundays, that said, you're not good enough. If you don't follow the 10 commandments, you're not good enough, even though there's 42 commandments. Of course, Christians don't know this. And how is it that the Church or Vatican taken 42 commandments, picked and hand-selected the 10, and pushed it out as a propaganda, and people don't even do their research? How is it? Why don't people do their research? But anyway, worshippers are brainwashed, in my perspective, that some religious establishment, some leader at that establishment on that podium has the true power, true ability to take us to God. Since when? Who died and made him a manager? He cannot take me to God. I can take myself to God. There's a God within me. There's gods within me. There's a universe within me. I'm an absolute conscience. I am pure conscience. I'm infinite consciousness. I don't need him to tell me what to do. But they sure come to a dying body to close that 7th chakra, the incarnation type of trap, when the person is dying. They sure do their little prayer approved by the Vatican. This is laughable foolishness, what they do. Like I need their permission to get married. But anyway, when it comes to worshiping religions, this level of stupidity, in my perspective, all due respect, it's my opinion, I don't think it can be described in a particular language, English or any other language. I mean, we look at the galaxy, look at the sky in a clear summer night. You've got galaxy and billions of galaxies. You got this universe we're in, and billions of other universes, and billions of stars and moons and planetary systems, civilizations and species and races who are then run and managed by other civilizations and species. It's never ending. And we're going to think that we're the only ones in the center of this galaxy and the universe, and we're 5,000 years old? Because what? Some church says that Adam and Eve had sex and then took a cigarette after and smoked some weed maybe, and had a Starbucks, and that's it. They created everybody and everything. I mean, the person has to truly be extremely arrogant or closed-minded to believe this. It is a good thing to have faith. It is a good thing to practice connecting, not to some fairy tales, external saviors, some prophets, some deities, but to practice true connecting, channeling, downloading information. We are constantly downloading information. Our brains, pineal gland, we're downloading data nonstop, downloading, receiving, sending data. We're like a walking USB drive. So this is a concept that I believe in the future, going forward, everyone should partake in or take on. Spirituality truly is a profound way to connect within, so inner awareness, dimensions, densities, life, advanced species, different areas within, celestial playgrounds and interstellar playgrounds and so forth. Not to mention, if you look at every time in the past, any time a human had any psychic gifts, they were right away burnt alive, said that they were possessed. This is a fact. Look at the witches that have been burned across Europe, burned alive. And of course, religious tyrants have always gone against the psychically talented people, calling them evil, demonic, satanic, Luciferian, blah, blah, blah. But they don't know the difference between Luciferian and satanic. They don't even know the origin of the word demon. And we see this today. Every time there's someone on the internet, I'm a proud channeler. Every time there's someone on the internet with other channelers and psychic people and mediums and clairvoyant individuals, right away, that's it. Conspiracy theorist, tin hat wearing conspiracy theorist. That's my favorite. Comes from a third density primitive mindset, those comments. I love it. But if humans, I believe, truly knew the accurate history of the ancient civilizations, our creators, our multidimensional DNA, the 5 times the Anunnakis even came down, the true custodians of this earth, true custodians, it's not us. What species created us and brought us here and just dropped us off? Who keeps coming and leaving? Contributions in our multidimensional DNA, how telepathy can be increased, telekinesis, channeling, integration of soul layers, consciousnesses that are not from here, and so forth and so forth. The religions would die overnight. Religions are like a warden. Oppression. They stand for oppression. suppression of information, oppression of our consciousness, our true potential, our path. Humans already have that universe, or let's say even God within us. We have soul layers within us. We have lower fractal consciousness within us. We have a pineal gland, the ultimate beacon in a geometric center of our brain. What do we need a priest for? Religions want us to worship false states, worship false names, worship. Worship what? The ancient, revised, and heavily edited history, myth, stories, how you, what, parted the sea? How some man walked on water? This is misinformation and disinformation and mistranslations of the ancient text. The whole idea of heaven, there's no such thing as a planet named heaven. You know, you'll be judged, you go to heaven to live forever with angels, hanging out, collecting flowers, painting, and, you know, hanging out with butterflies. This isn't how it works. Religions have an extremely strict set of rules, scary rules. They frighten and control the masses. Foolishly, humans worship it, these imaginary gods, and they waste their own incarnation, short incarnation we have on earth. They waste their energy. I mean, these propaganda campaigns against spirituality these days, it's ridiculous. Against chakra systems, against incarnation, against yoga. Vatican even bans yoga, Kundalini, says it's demonic. This is nonsense. How can possibly this be tolerated? But people tolerate it. Yeah, put your hands together. Say that amen at the end of the prayer, worshiping Amun-Ra. Say that amen. Yeah, that's it. You'll get to heaven that way. Religion truly promotes division, but makes people very submissive, very passive. And they say that there's this male, named God, G-O-D. But no one talks about the mistranslations. Why did you guys remove the letter S from the writings? Why? Why don't you talk about perhaps UFOs mentioned in the Bible? Why don't you talk about the Anunnakis? Why don't you talk about our DNA revisions? But no, religion brainwashes people to think that God elected some first people on earth called the Jews or whoever. Religion lies, just like they lie about who was Adam and Eve. They created everything on all of us. Get out of here. Even my nephews wouldn't believe that story. So what's with the story of heaven, going back to heaven? That if we are good enough, we go to heaven. Who wrote this agenda? Well, an extremely wise group of men. That's who wrote that agenda. But back then we've had even sacrifices of children. And people did it all the time. This just needs to be researched. Jordan Maxwell was excellent in this research. He exposed a lot of things. Now, humans really don't need any bullshit religions or cults to connect to their true self, to the universe, to the cosmos, to celestial regions, interstellar regions, star family, galactic family, different races and species, different realms, dimensions, densities. We already do that. We already have that. We have a soul within us. Body just occupies it. We have infinite consciousness. We have telepathy. We have channeling. We have different things. Daily we're downloading data. But these indoctrination stories, these metaphysical, astrological, anatomical, esoteric bullshit, they're not factual. They're not real. They're just a bunch of myths. They're not actual. They're not authentic. They're not literal. They're not historical. They're not real. They're not original. It's all mainly just BS, allegory, mythology, metaphors, parables, and analogy. I mean, I teach an entire course on this. I teach an entire presentation on religious lies, where I involve a tremendous amount of information on statistics and sources of information and occult translations and Bible mistranslations, including names, locations, numbers, statistics, dates, including hundreds and hundreds of mistranslations from the religious texts. So religious stories then are just man-made fairy tales. That's all they are. Men-made revised stories. Revised and edited and over again, and then revised some more, then edited again. And every time a new king comes, or new mayor or some president, they revise it again. They kind of make it fit their own agenda. But everything in Christianity, because I know there's the most, is stolen from ancient Egypt. It's just that Christianity rebranded it as their own. Hence, there's so many contradictions, mistranslations, stolen depictions, bullshit lies and mistranslations such as Adam and Eve hoax story. Jesus walked on water, hoax story. Sea parting, hoax story. Jesus crucified, he was never crucified. Even Islam knows this. But they sure hide the existence of UFOs from the ancient times, from the Bible. They don't talk about that today in church. 70 verses mentioning cloud vehicle flying is in the Bible. 160 verses of fire's vehicle. 37 verses of flying furnaces. That's in the Bible. I mean, like in 700 years, there's been over 50 million deaths due to barbaric orders by the popes and other leaders of Christianity down across Europe. But I think to really start dissecting this religion nonsense, we need to ask ourselves, first and foremost, why is there 15,000 religions out there, smaller and bigger, major religions and smaller faith groups like tribes and congregations and things of that sort? Why is that? They're all competing with one another. I mean, it's like business. It's like 15,000 scalpers standing outside of a concert trying to sell tickets. And they're all arguing with one another. But this is what people need in this reality. Someone to worship, a president, a religion, a sport team, a celebrity, an actor, a porn actress, a Hollywood actress. Worshipping is embedded in our DNA. Worshipping gene is embedded in all organic humans. Every single human. Just like ancestral fear is embedded in our DNA. Cannot be removed. That's a fact. Humans are extremely weak. This is what extraterrestrials say. Human energy is extremely weak, collectively speaking. We're easily tricked and fooled and swayed into things. We believe in these gods. We must worship something. We must give our energy to something. And in the spiritual community, we see that with people worshiping these non-existing galactic federations and Ashtars and Thor hands and all these galactic boyfriends that they're addicted to. I mean, these things are ludicrous. Just like it's ludicrous to say Christ is coming back tomorrow on a white horse. Why don't most worshipers really see that most major religions today, when it comes down to it, are worshiping planet Saturn? Saturn's color, Saturn's eyes, Saturn's cube. This was created a long time ago by an extremely wise group of dudes. I don't respect them, but they're quite wise. And as a former Christian, I mean, it took me a while to unplug from that system, unplug from that parasitic pool of bottom feeders, that filth, that dirt, that brainwashing toxicity. I realized there were mistranslations. One of the biggest mistranslations in the Bible is that Jesus walked on water. This is not true. That's a mistranslation of the sun's reflection walking on water. Not someone's son, but the sun. This guy studied Hinduism. He went to Egypt. He promoted incarnation. He's not son of some god. I'm not a son of any god. He was a human like me. He was a human like every person watching this video. Christianity as a business was created by a power-hungry tyrant named Constantine, similar to a tyrant we have here in Canada called Blackface. But back then, with the Constantine time, those days, it truly started as a large cult, a violent cult, like a mafia, like a Cosa Nostra. Because Christianity truly is a religion of sun. Christianity is not a religion of Jesus or Mary. No. Christianity is a religion of worshiping sun. That's it. It's a pagan religion. It's always been this way. Jesus did not create Christianity, which many believe. Christianity was started as a pagan religion. Now this well-oiled organization is run by much, much more evil men. But overall, an evil empire of the early popes, as I call them, first four, I believe, resided in Lyon, France. I had a chance to go there about 10, 15 years ago, taken many pictures from there, and this place is extremely violent, very dark energy, extremely evil energy. So I've seen true evidence of genocides, of murders, of rapes that occurred over citizens who did not agree with the popes. Place is called Lyon, France. Massive Pope castle is still there, available to be seen by tourists. But when it comes to this Christianity, I mean, they really taken a lot of stories from ancient Egypt and then just later on merged it. They merged it with Christianity, that's all. Horus. Is Horus repainted as just Jesus by Christianity? Is it? Or is that a coincidence? The depiction and story truly of Jesus and on his boat, so Lord on his boat, it's called. It's a stolen image from ancient Egypt called God's Son in his boat. depiction of Jesus blinding or healing the blind man with his right hand. That's another stolen story from Egypt of the Thoth, the true Giza pyramid builder, healing the eye of the Horus, right eye of the Horus. What about the fish hat popes wear? That's a stolen idea from thousands of years ago. Fish-headed god named Dagon, D-A-G-O-N, Dagon, who predates Christianity by thousands of years. What about the crown of thorns on Jesus' head? That depiction, that's a stolen image from an ancient image called Sun's Illumination, similar that we see today in New York City on the Statue of Liberty. Same thing. The word hell, completely made up. There's no such thing as hell. That's just the Vatican's lie. But that came from a word named H-E-L, not H-E-L-L. It's a Nordic word. Nordic word meaning grave, meaning burial, place that you bury something. Same with incarnation. I mean, it's a whole lot of different perspective, different conversation. We incarnate. It's a mechanism of the universe. We don't die and go to some heaven. It's not like that. We're just here temporarily. Word blessing, stolen word for word blood or blood stain. It's a Welsh word meaning shedding of the blood. Circumcision. All right, well, what the hell does circumcision have to do with God and love and heaven? No, nothing in any way. Circumcision has nothing to do with God or heaven or Jesus or anything. It's a barbaric tradition where skin's cut off for no reason. Has to do with sex. This is a long story, but it has to do with sex. It's not just a Hebrew ritual. It actually goes back to Egyptians. And then it passes that. It goes back to previous, another civilization. And how exactly did Jesus go from being a brown man, black-skinned man, which he was never white, to a perfectly white Caucasian man today? Does it have to do with Cesare Borgia, perhaps, or Rodrigo Borgia, or Antobello Melone? Does it have to do with that? How about Pope IV, one who died in Lyon, France? Does it have to do with Pope IV? Did he order for man to be point painted from black into a white skin, Caucasian skin? What about all the crosses that have a circle in it? Is that a coincidence? No, that's a sun. It's sun dying on the cross of the zodiac. Christianity is a religion of the sun, worshiping the sun. That's why there's always a window below these crosses, below the roof, which represents in ancient terms, sun's window, the sun's window, one of the oldest symbols from the ancient world. What's the true meaning of the black hats that all students wear upon graduation, university, high schools, colleges, and so forth? Why is there black and white tiles on the floors of churches, cathedrals, even some city halls, including the White House in Washington? Why do judges in court wear the color black? Why do police officers wear the color black in the United States and Canada? Why are black robes worn by priests and by nuns? Why do nuns wear the color black? When a husband dies in Europe, all across Europe, a wife is told to wear color black for a couple of months, for a few months. So where is this black coming from? What's the true meaning of color black? Why do Jewish practitioners and followers wear a black cube on their forehead while they're praying and while they're walking around praying or standing and praying? And it's the same black color cube that Muslims or Islamic worshippers are walking around in Mecca. In a large Mecca area, they walk around in circles around this black cube. But if we take a Catholic or Christian cross and fold it, we also get a cube. Why is there a 6-pointed star in all sheriff's badges across the United States? Police. How about in medals of Army, Medal of Honor, highest decoration in the military United States? There's a 5-pointed star, but it's inverted, standing on the bottom on one of its peaks. Why is that? That's not a regular star. What does that mean? Does it have anything to do in common? Do these things, are they connected? Or are these just conspiracy theories? Crazy people talking about these things. What's the true meaning of the obelisk, tall vertical towers, in Washington, D.C., London, England, and Vatican? Why is the U.S. flag, United States flag, folded into a pyramid when an officer dies upon the burial of the officer during Mass? What about the Olympic logo, 5 circles? Does that have anything to do with the 4 circles of the car brand called Audi? What's the meaning of the circles is the question. What about the Olympic hand held, this torch that Olympians hold upon the opening ceremonies of all Olympics? Does that have anything to do with anything? What's the true meaning of arches in churches. How about the Royal Arch in St. Louis, Missouri? What's the true meaning of the Red Cross logo? Across the world, Red Cross. What's the true meaning of the Red Cross inside of the UK flag? Are these things just conspiracy theories? What does Amun-Ra stand for? Or is it just a coincidence? What's the true meaning of the four-pillar depiction in Masonry? And what's the meaning of the black and white tiles in the very same depiction? Are these just random arts? Why is there white and black tiling on the entire floor of the White House in Washington, D.C.? I know, I've been there as a guest in 2019. First floor, the entire thing, black and white tiles. Did they not have maybe other color tiles, or was that the only thing on sale at the time? Why do all angels end with the word E-L? What's Maat, M-A-A-T? What does Baal stand for, B-A-A-L? What does Moloch stand for? Have people read a book that's very well hidden, not on Amazon, but the Fraternia Saturni by Stephen Flowers? What's Saturn, what's religious, no kind of things. What about the Egyptian resurrection picture? Egyptian resurrection of the sun, stolen by Christianity and then repainted as resurrection of the son Jesus, not the son, but someone's son, as he was coming out of the cave. What's true symbology of the game chess? Why is there black and white tiles on the base of the chessboard? What about a black and white symbology, black and white piano keys? 52 whites, 36 blacks. Did the 12 apostles really mean just 12 months or 4 seasons or 12 cranial nerves? Or were they actually human? What's a Hebrew word for curse? What's an Arabic word for cube? Why is the Vatican has this massive hall, this auditorium, prayer mass hall designed to look like Cobra's face, with eyes, with teeth. So a large mass auditorium seating like 6,500 people, 6,300 people. I've been in there a few times. It was designed by a very secretive guy, an Italian architect named Pierre Nervi. But most importantly, what secret level of the Vatican did Peter belong to? Along with the group that approved the land to be donated in order for this mass hall to be built in the first place. Also too, when it comes to that mass hall, the resurrection piece behind the Pope, what does that truly represent? Priests. Another thing too when it comes to religions and priests, particularly priests, is let's look at the sexual abuse that we've seen for years. Altar boys, Sunday school boys, pedophilia, sexual rapes at churches across the world. Priests, cardinals, bishops, volunteers even, all being arrested, convicted, some not convicted, some released, worldwide, nonstop. And I don't mean for criminal activity, like Cardinal Zen, Z-E-N, in Hong Kong, who got convicted with 5 other priests for money scam. No. Talking about sexual abuse. Why is there such large sexual abuse in the Catholic Church? Australia, George Pell. How about Canadian priest Joseph Vasic and another reverend named Johannes Rivore? Both raped children. What about the Mexican priest? 60 children he raped. Marcial Maciel. Cardinal in Germany, Reinhard Marx. French priest Bernard Preynat. American Cardinal Theodore McCarrick. All same convictions, same arrests. During the summit in 2019, I remember Pope Francis promised an end to rapes, an end to sexual abuse, cover-ups, all this, that the abusers would be brought to justice, and they announced that there are going to be changes in the Vatican when it comes to the criminal code. Vatican has their own criminal code. Like in Canada, we have criminal code in any province. But did he really do that? No. Over 216,000 children, mostly boys, have been sexually abused by the clergy or by the French Catholic Church since 1950. That's insane. A French guy, Francois, the founder of the Victims Association, they are called Freed Speech in translation from French. I don't speak French, but I do remember those two words. And everyone should research this guy because he's got this entire website based on facts. Even BBC.com did a report in 2021 on this manner. Slovenian priest, Rupnik, sexually abused over 20 nuns. And he was the official painter of the Pope in Vatican. And his paintings in 2016 was the official selected logo for the Year of the Mercy. It's a logo they designed. He designed it. I mean, this is insane. It's sickening. I cannot even use the words in English to describe the level of sickness I feel. Is this holy? Is this righteous? Is this loving? Is this enlightening? These well-read, well-educated priests, these loving priests, why are they betraying our trust? Betraying the morality, betraying the morale, betraying the children and their parents? Why are they abusing, hurting? Why? What's the point? Where's the love? Where's the care? Where's their mission and aim? What's the deal here? Where's this spiritual enlightenment that they're receiving? The question is, who truly is the top dog, big boss, big boss, above all religions, above, energetically speaking, of all religions, above earth? Better question is the term God. Who is their God? Who is their God? I think in conclusion, as a very proud channeler, what I've been exposed to over the years, truly what I've been pushed into, what I've experienced, what I've been thrown into dimensionally speaking, not physically, no, dimensionally speaking, things I've seen, so 4th, 5th, 6th density. And being in this business of professional channeling, trance channeling, I understand quite clearly now much more truth than I did 20 years ago or 10 years ago. And I can guarantee anyone with 100 million% certainty and integrity, there is no such thing as a single God, G-O-D. There are only extraordinarily advanced, non-explainable collectives of physical and non-physical consciousnesses, civilizations, species that truly run everything in this galaxy and other galaxies, and Earth itself. But the religions designed on Earth were done by men to control, to oppress, to suppress, to rob and steal and divide humans, to have this uninterrupted theft of energy. Money too, but mainly energy, for the purposes of extremely malevolent reasons.